How's it going, guys, and welcome back to another video on Silica. So today, this video is going to be made for all the new players that want to get into Silica but really struggle with how Commander works. So this is going to be like a comprehensive my god, I can't say the word for it, comprehensive, there we go, got it right in the end, guide, and kind of like a walkthrough and follow through, so you can follow through with me with this. I'm going to be following a specific build order for human v human. There's also one for human v alien as well, and I will leave both build orders in the description below. Thank you to Lucka for providing the build orders and his video to it as well, which I will also leave in the description below as well. But yeah, it's mainly to help all you new guys with how to get on with the starting video will be for humans. I will do another video on alien as well. So yeah, orders, building in general, control schemes, all the new features that have literally just been added as well. So we're going to go through all of it. We are going to go up against the AI. So the AI will send a lot of infantry and smaller vehicles at me while I'm trying to go through the build order. So I do apologise if I start to run away just a little bit with what I'm saying. But I hope this does help all you new players with getting off the ground when it comes to Commander. You may jump on and you think, you know what, I'm not even going to touch Commander because yeah, it's just too complicated for me and I just want to play the FPS. I mean, this will hopefully help you with establishing how to become a fairly decent Commander when it comes to going up against another player. So without further ado, guys, we are going to get into the game. We're going to go human v human, and I'm going to follow the exact order of which Lucka has provided in text form. So half of it is actually from my own perspective, what I used to do as well when it used to be human v human. For example, you'd hit 3 refineries, and then you'd go into barracks, and then tech, and then more refineries, and then you'd start upgrading from there onwards, going to heavy factories. And because you're human v human, you then want to go into, say, like rocket tanks. You don't really want to touch hover tanks so much, and then you go into rail tanks, basically all the anti-human stuff. And I will say about aliens as well, you need hover tanks or aliens, but that will be in another video. So I will produce another video over the next few days with human v alien, and I'll also do the opposite end, which will be alien versus human. There's no alien v alien at the moment, so there is an unknown meta to that one. And this video will also change when air units are released. So take it with a grain of salt. You can still kind of use this build even where air units are out. You just incorporate air units into the same build technically, and you might not produce as many, for example, railgun tanks or whatnot. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. There's going to be more Silica content coming out in the next few weeks. We have got planned release for the air units. We've got a lot of stuff coming out. There's also streams going ahead as well. So we've got streams every Sunday for Silica Sundays. We have streams during the week as well for not just Silica, but other games as well. I'm currently going through Alien Dark Descent. Once I complete that campaign, I'll be moving over to 40k bolt gun, and from there onwards, who knows, we'll be going and playing a different array of games. And also, guys, if you want to join in on some games, for example, if I decide to play Space Engineers and host a server, you guys are more than welcome to come on in and play a few games. I mean, we got Tempest Rising coming out as well at some point this year. That game is high up on my list, but I will make sure I play a variety of games that you guys want to see, you guys want to be involved in. So definitely stay tuned for that. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to get into a human v human. Warning you now, if you're not up to date with current Silica patching, there was literally a patch released, I'd say 2 hours ago, really. We have got voice barks now for commander control, and well, you get them as well in first person mode. That is on both alien and human side, so both factions, well, technically all 3 factions, all have their own voice barks. And for example, if your harvester comes under attack, or your shrimp, there'll be barks for that. If your base is under attack, if you found the enemy base, if you lose a unit, if you kill a unit, if your building becomes under attack, if you lose a building, etc., and so on. If you produce a unit as well. So without further ado, we're going to get in. So yeah, guys, enjoy. So traditional, we go Centauri because Centauri. I'm going to go Commander. So we are starting, it says Rift Basin, so we're starting right side at mid, which is great because we're smack bang in the middle, right next to the slope that heads down into the main area. So we're in a pretty nice area at the moment here. I do know where all the spawns are. So if you're a new Commander, you might not know where the spawns are. So Bolterium, on Rift Basin is a great starter. You pretty much spawn always next to a source of Bolterium. There's a very rare chance that you won't spawn next to Bolterium on Rift Basin. Rift Basin's... Hold on, what the hell? one of my infantrymen was riding a quad. Anyway, so I'm going to get into control systems, guys, with you now, if you're new to Commander. So, at the moment, I'm just using the arrow keys to move about. That's normal. You can also use WSA and D to move around as well. To select the headquarters, you don't have to just click on it. If you don't want to click on it, you press C. Pressing C will take you to the headquarters. Also, if you're over here on the map somewhere, double tap C, you'll return to your headquarters. Now, if you have more than one headquarters, it will rotate between all the headquarters, starting from closest first. So just be wary of that as well. We are going to build a refinery, so you click on the refinery and you plant it down. So you got to wait for the blue. If you try and plant it on a unit, it will be yellow to tell you there's a unit on the point, but it can be buildable regardless. So you have to wait until the unit leaves the AO, and then you can actually plant down the refinery. So we're going to put one here. Now we're going to follow the build order for human v human. So we're going to go with 3 refineries and a single barracks. You can see my scouts in the way. So what I'm going to do is hit escape to cancel that build order. Hit C, go back to refinery. And now, whilst the scout gets out the way, we can then plant down that refinery. Right. And then the next one, hopefully, I can get here. There we go. Right, okay, so now we've got the refineries building. We can wait for a minute because we've got to wait for the buildings to go through before we unlock the barracks. So, Q and E rotates the camera. It is a 90-degree rotate. That could change to smooth commander. Basically a more smoother thought out rotational. I do think Dram is probably going to introduce that at some point, or maybe make a function for it so you can switch in between both smooth commander and snapping commander. That was probably going to be in the future. Also, if there's an event and you'll have an audio cue on the event, if you locate the enemy, it will say it. You press spacebar. Now, pressing spacebar on any event will take you to that event, no matter what it is. If it's you've lost a unit, you've killed a unit, you've located a unit or building, you've lost a building, your harvester's under attack, any of those sort of things, or units being created or buildings being constructed, hit spacebar, it will take you to that event. So be wary not to tap the spacebar if you're too busy doing something else. Just be wary. It will take you to whatever's happening. Right, so I'll show you that actually as soon as this refinery comes up. So whilst we wait for the refinery, we're actually going to scout for the enemy base. So I kind of know where they're going to be, because Rift Basin is a kind of a easy map to get the gist of, and I can tell you exactly where they're going to be. Okay, structure complete. Hit spacebar. Gone straight to the refinery. Here it is. There you go. So the refinery's here. We're going to hit C. Reselect our headquarters. We're going to go for the barracks this time round. So we're going to get the barracks out. Now, I built in the wrong location. Right, okay. So in a PvP game, you want to get your barracks next to your headquarters. The main reason why is because when a human player dies, they spawn at either the barracks or the headquarters. And what if they wanted to change their class? You need to have them get easy access to the barracks. So because I'm playing solo, I've automatically built the barracks out, out in the open. To kind of act as like an expansion point. There you go. We've just got the voice cue for enemy approaching, which means they're approaching our structures. And our units under attack. So we actually got incoming from the north, which automatically prompts me to think... Harvester under attack as well, by the way. Also, it prompts me to think the Soul forces are in the north region, because that's where they've come from. So, with that being said, we're going to send these scouts. We're not going to sprint them. We're just going to walk them up there. If you want to sprint them, by the way, you hold shift and you see you get the sprint icon on your mouse. And if you want to get them under a rock, or behind a rock, sorry, you want to go with control. So we just had unit loss. We lost a few members of our guys. We lost a few riflemen, which is very unfortunate, but it's to be expected when you go against the AI. They're very aggressive, and unfortunately they do burn themselves out quickly. So, with that being said, now that we're into some sort of combat at the moment here, this quad is unfortunately going to go down. I am going to go take control of this other quad, and I'll show you how. So there's 2 ways you can take control of a quad. You've got to select take control of a unit. You've got to select a single unit, so it doesn't work if you select more than one. For example, if you go to these scouts, see, I can't take direct control of them. I'm pressing the key, which is F. Nothing's happening. There's no UI here either saying that. So we select a single unit, so we're going to select a quad. If you want to select a single unit, then you need to zoom in and select that unit on its own. It won't work if you're in orbit because you get like a, for example, you've got two light quads next to each other. There's a 2, it will select both of them. Anyway, we're going to go back in. You can either click this button here, which is direct control, which takes you in, or you press F. Pressing F also gives you direct control, and now you're in your first person view. Well, for example, your third person view for vehicles, but for infantry it'll be first person. So, we're going to quickly finish off this quad. That is one down, and we're going to go for the second one as well, which is very much injured indeed. Yep, I roll myself, you love to see it. Typical me. Boom. Right. We've dealt with the threat. So we're now going to get the quad out of the way so the harvester can leave the platform eventually. And we're going to leave control by pressing F. So, we are still losing units, and looks like it is my scout force that's moving in. And they are currently shooting at the other scout and killing them off there. I didn't get a voice quote for it because it's not as important as you being under attack. And now we've located the enemy base. You heard the quip for it. We're going to hit spacebar. We have found the HQ. So this is the sole HQ in the northern quadrant. Exactly where I thought they would be. So, we have now got a hefty chunk of money as a harvester has returned some glorious funds to us. So now what we're going to do here is we are going to we're going to get tech up. Now we've built the barracks, we're going to get tech. So we're going to go to this science vial here, and we're going to grab tech. So here it is, research facility. We're going to wait for that to build, because what we're going to want to do now is get some more refineries up. So we want to start expanding even further here. So we're going to get another refinery, and now we're going to have to wait for more funds to come back. Lucky enough, this harvester is full. So the way you know the harvester is full, you click the harvester, it tells you here if it's full. If you're in control of the harvester, up the top of the screen here, I can't actually show you because I might have lost control of my mouse, but there's a bar above, along with its health pool, that shows you this is a harvester and it's currently full up with Bolterium. You plant yourself on the platform, it delivers the Bolterium. And there we go. So what I'm going to do is going to relinquish control now that I've started delivering the goods. You can see the bar going down at the top of the screen as well. It is currently getting rid of that Bolterium. Right. With that being said, we are going to be under a massive strain now. Unfortunately, we're going to lose all these scouts because there are 2 riflemen there, and they're just better units, so we're going to lose those. Now, if I feel like I'm going to be threatened, I am going to actually start making units, but at the moment, we're going to be concentrating on getting vehicles out as quickly as possible. So, with that being said, we still need to build another refinery, so we are going to do that right now because we have got the room for it. So we're going to put one here as well, and that is all our refineries for now. So we are maybe going to create more in the future, depending on what, you know, how far we get with the enemy. If it's a PvP game, you can kind of deviate from the intended path of the build order if you choose to. Not everyone's build order is the same. I'm just following Lucker's build order because it is he is probably one of the best players I've ever seen in commander mode for human. A very good commander. So we are going to continue the build order. So we've got the refineries up at the moment here. We need to start going and getting our tech now. So we're going to go Mark 1 in tech. And what that will unlock now is if we go to the barracks. So another good thing as well, right? Another great thing that was just added. Select the barracks, hold control, and for example hit 0. That now binds the barracks to 0. So if I hit 0, it selects it. If I double hit 0, it moves the camera to it. So if I go over here and look at this unit here, double hit 0, goes back to the barracks. Easy for building units if you do need to do that. And that control grouping also is the same with units. For example, it's like quad. I hold control, I hit 1. I go over here, tapped 1, I got the light quad. Double tap 1, I go to the quad's position. So the good thing about the control groups is they work for both buildings and for both units. So now we've just a waiting game basically. We've got a lot of money. We could use this money. We can build, for example, riflemen. To be honest with you, this stage in the game, unless the enemy has got some sort of explosive firepower, aka a heavy, I'm going for a different build order than you have. There's no real point in creating any units at the moment. You're kind of like in a mid-hold. Normally the players will have units, or they're good at like killing other AIs or other humans. So normally you've got players to back you up with this. So you're just waiting. It's literally a waiting game until you start getting Tech 1. As soon as you've got Tech 1, you want to get another refinery out. So Tech 1's coming up now. We're going to start building another refinery. You don't have to wait. I'm just waiting because I'm talking. This can all be done relatively quickly. So here we go. Another refinery as well. And then after that, we can go for one light vehicle factory. So we are going to go for a light vehicle factory. This will allow us to start producing quads if we need it. And it could also allow us to produce the heavy quad as well. So we have now unlocked that. So now that we've built this, we can actually go Tech 2 at the same time. So we've gone refinery, refinery, Tech 1, refinery, light vehicle factory. This will all be in the description below. So if you're getting confused with how you're following me, basically that's it. Now what happens is you need to build a light vehicle factory before you can get access to the heavy vehicle factory. It's just an unlock prerequisite. Oh my god, I can't say the word for it. But that's what it is. So, there's no way you could build a heavy vehicle factory if you don't have a light vehicle factory already. So that's the reason why you got to put one down. Even if you don't plan on using it, there still needs to be one. It needs to be one on the field. So we are getting voice quips. I do apologise if I start stuttering when a voice quip goes off. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to being told what's happening in Silica. It's totally new to me. It's just come out today. So it is like going, oh my god, yeah, we're under attack. I need to do something. It's just the natural thing for me here in RTS in general. So the harvesters are doing a pretty good job of chewing some of these guys up. We are going to be sending in the scout. The scout's going to die. I mean, I could take control of the scout and try and do my best. And if you really wanted to be brave, what you could do is you could take control of the harvester and become the battle harvester. And this has to be a once per video thing, right? Where we just become the battle harvester. If we're not going to run these guys over, which we could possibly do, we are going to grind them up into a mushy human pulp. If we can. They might be running a bit too quick for me, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I think they're running a little bit too quick for me. Yeah. Anyway, they're gonna get blown away anyway. But you know, the battle harvester became a thing for a few seconds at least. Now at this point, you're probably producing infantrymen. You know, you can start producing heavies now to go anti-tank, a few marksmen. You know, that sort of thing. We can produce we don't really produce the light armored car. There's no real point to it at the moment. We can produce some of the heavy and light quads as well, just for defensive purposes. You should have a lot of money at this point. And we're now going to go into our heavy factory and also tech. So now we've got heavy factories. Now, you should have a lot of money at this point. And that's a good thing, because you don't want to produce just one heavy factory. You want to produce a few heavy factories, yeah? Between 2 and 4, depending on how your funds are looking. That is probably the ideal amount that you're going to need for most of the game. Pretty much for the whole entire time of the game. Now that you've done that, we need to go to Mark 3 and Mark 4, because that also unlocks, for example, the railgun tank, which is great against humans. So you've got human v human railgun tank. It also will unlock the siege tank eventually, and also the rocket truck will be part of that package as well. However, the rocket truck, I believe, is already unlocked technically. Hover tank as well is in that, but we're not really going to use the hover tank for human v human. It's a great tank and all that, but the rail tank does a better job when it comes to, you know, going up against human players and human AI. So with that being said, we have built a few units. I kind of went off the board here and started building units. That's just to show you guys what I'm doing. The heavy units opening fire against these scouts. The HQ is going to chew up these guys anyway. We are getting a lot of accused here of forces that are trying to attack us, but I'm not too worried. We should be able to chew all these guys up relatively easily. The heavies should be able to take down those guys. Yeah, done it very, very well. We'll have a look, see which harvester that is. Yeah, so a big cluster of harvesters having a nice little fight over Bolterian patches. You love to see it. It is just the normal day here in Bolterus when it comes to harvesters. Okay, so we've got 10,000 dollary dues. What we're going to do is we're going to go Mark 3 now, which is the next step. We're going to go Mark 4 as well, pretty much straight away. We need to start going Tech 4. Tech 4 just allows you to unlock the final units, basically. Whilst these heavy factories do take a while to build, I can actually tell you how long it'll take to build. So 185 seconds. So yeah, if you want to know how much they cost and how much it costs to build each unit, each building, it tells you here at the bottom here in your UI. And it'll also tell you their relative firepower to the armor as well of units inside of the UI for Commander as well, and their build times. So just keep that in mind. When you start building something and you need something produced quickly, don't go and build a heavy quad or a light armored car. If you really want something to come out now to deal with infantrymen, just build a light quad. It's only 50 seconds, less than a minute. Yeah, same goes with infantrymen. For example, the marksman takes 60 seconds, a whole minute to build. The scout only takes 10 seconds. You could build 6 scouts for 1 marksman if you just want to go and zerg a rifleman or something, you know? You don't have to build a high-tech unit to be able to counter another infantry unit. Just bear that in mind when you're commanding on the human side of things. So, again, yeah, this is going to keep happening whilst they send units from across there. Again, the AI will burn themselves out eventually. It is just a thing at the moment. The AI will be improved as time goes on. Our heavy factory is almost done. I'm actually going to assign each individual heavy factory to their own control group. So we're going to be able to use them to build relatively quickly without having to go and select each individual one. So we're going to go from top to bottom on heavy on the factories. We're going to go Mark 4 now, seeing that Mark 3 just finished. Here we go. So, Factory 1 is going to be 1. Factory 2 is going to be 2. Factory 3 is going to be 3. Factory 4 is going to be 4. So now if I go over here and look at the enemy base, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. So we've got them all. Now what we want to do is start producing the rocket launcher while we wait for our tech to finish. So we're going to build 4 rocket launchers to start with. You could just cancel one if you decide to, just because we are going to be getting we're going to get rail tanks out, and rail tanks are very good for AI to take control of, because the AI is very accurate. The rocket trucks are good for players, not so much for AI, but for players, because players seem to launch things over the top of cliffs in the hope of hitting things, and sometimes they do. You know, most of the time they do. So, with that being said, we're destroying units, and looks like it is the quads. Again, these 2 quads I've had from the start. They're both very low, but they're doing a very good job of handling the AI, which is just great. So, while we wait for the trucks to come out, we are pretty much at a point where we're going to start producing those railgun tanks. And what we all need to do is start, at this point, it's a given what you do. You can... Sorry, the voice quips are really distracted me. You can scale up your eco, so you can have even more eco if you decide to do so. For example, hit and C, going back into a refinery, and you know, build another refinery here. You know, you want to build one down the hill, perhaps. Let's see if we can get one down here somewhere. There we go. There's one right there. So we're gonna get one here. You know, just getting your eco up and running even more. Even if you want to go for the siege tank, you know, it's entirely up to you. If you've got the spare cash and you don't think the enemies are doing as well, get yourself a siege tank. It doesn't matter. You know, obviously, if you're under stress and the enemy commander is a very good player, then you'd probably avoid having a siege tank altogether. But just for the sake of this video, I'm going to produce the ultra heavy vehicle factory. And you can even produce more headquarters if you feel like you're getting stressed with incoming infantry over a hill. It acts as a defensive position, even though it's not a turret. It's a headquarters. It's quite expensive. And it also guarantees if you lose your home HQ, you'll have a secondary for backup. And the secondary for backup will continue to construct buildings for you. So, yeah, bear that in mind. Headquarters is basically your construction yard with defenses. Your light vehicle factory is for light quads. And the light armored vehicle. The ultra heavy is for the big boy, so it also builds harvesters and also builds siege tanks, or the plasma tank. The heavy vehicle factory is for all the heavy armaments, the rocket launchers, the railgun tanks, the heavy armored car, the hover tank, the pulse tank. The pulse tank has a very specific use. I will go through each and individual vehicle in a second, once we start alleviate the stress away from me. From the enemies. We are going to go down here into this crevasse. So, by the way, guys, if you want to select multiple units and they're quite far away, you hold shift and select each unit. What that'll do then, it will pair them all up together. And there you go. You have selected 4 units of rocket launchers without having to drag and have a look. Because if I drag over them all, I select the harvesters with them. So, bear that in mind. You hold shift, you select, and you can select each individual unit if you want to send them in onto a group order. Now what we're going to start doing is we're going to start producing railgun tanks. We're going to actually cancel this one. To cancel a production of a unit, if they're in queue, you just right click them. If they're in production, you right click the production itself here in the bottom. You see like the little clock that goes around until it's complete. Hopefully that helps you with knowing, you know, how to cancel a unit basically. So I was clicking on the factories there. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, but yeah. Right. Relative quiet for the time being. We've got another refinery coming up very shortly, a HQ as well for defensive purposes, and we're going to be looking on good on eco. The rocket trucks are moving in to try and siege the enemy AI base. We are still increasing in funds. At this point in the game, you just ramp up what you're doing. So, for example, do you feel like you're producing enough vehicles to fulfill what you need to do? If not, build another heavy factory. Build another heavy factory. Actually, I'm not going to build another heavy factory because I'm going to go into something else with you. Right, so this is going away from Rift Base now. For example, you're on the Great Erg, or if you're on Badlands, or any of the other big maps like Naraka City, and the Bolterian patch you're after is miles away. There is a way to expand at the moment, but that is going to change very soon. The reason why I say it's going to change very soon, because the outpost building is literally around the corner. The outpost building will come out relatively soon. That's what I'm saying. It has been worked on, and it is being worked on at present. It is a thing that's going to come out because the humans at the moment have no real way to expand unless you use silos. So silos, or the radar station. Actually, I'll go into the radar station in a moment. So the silos is a great way to expand. The building only takes 50 seconds to build. It stores. Oh my god! It stores Bolterium. But it also creates an expansion point for building more buildings. So I've placed a silo here, and that will allow me then, once it's built, to put like a refinery here, or a refiner over here. So if you need a push, because they're quite cheap as well, they only cost 500 each, a silo is a great way to expand quickly to get to more Bolterium. So just bear that in mind. Oh, we'd love to see harvesters having their natural habitat, where they fight over Bolterium patches. Anyway, we have got a commando inbound whilst I'm talking here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just send these guys up here relatively slowly. I'm not really worried about it as such. And you can see the voice quit for unit ready was the railgunner tanks. So what we're going to do now is we've got more money. We're going to queue up more rail tanks in the heavy factories. And, we're going to get them going. We're going to get them ready to rock and roll. So these rail tanks are now out to play. We're going to, you know what? We're going to send them all at once. I was going to send them in stacks of 2, but we're going to send them all at once, and we're going to send them against the enemy. Now, the reason why we produce rail tanks is to go directly against rail tanks, hover tanks, trucks, is basically the sniper tank. And it has a secondary where it's a rocket barrage, like a rocket salvo. I can show you quickly by taking control of this rail tank. So the rocket salvo is this, which you hold, the right click, and it does an explosive around the area. The main armament is a big boy shot. It is pretty much a sniper tank. So also, guys, you don't have to worry. If you take control of a unit and you had a little play with, and then you lose control of that unit, or if you want to leave it, it will continue its last given order. As you can see, the rail tank is carrying on its last order, so you don't have to worry about it losing its order and it staying still and you forgetting. Same with the harvesters as well. If you take control of a harvester and you leave the harvester out in a Bolterium field, it's not going to stop working. It'll carry on doing what it was doing last, and that was mining Bolterium. It's going to carry on doing that. So we are moving in towards the enemy base. We could produce more rocket launchers. This commando is shredded. He's pretty much dead to harvesters, by the way. What a sad life for a commando to get killed by a harvester. What a sad life indeed. So, with that being said, the radar station acts as a processor station of improved sensor range and detection capabilities. So it's able to detect units inbound a lot quicker. And basically any units that leave the AO and go into your field of view and stuff, you're able to detect them a lot quicker as well. So, and it's good for expansion as well. It's good for expansion. So, saying goodnight to my daughter, by the way. Right, anyway, so we're now taking down the enemy base with these rocket trucks. These rocket trucks are absolutely going to shred everything. If you want to siege enemy buildings, these are the boys to use. The rocket trucks will shred everything. As you can see, structure destroyed. If you want to cripple any human player or human commander, you go for the harvesters, like what's happening now. This harvester's getting absolutely annihilated. You go for the headquarters, or you go for the technology. center, basically their research center. So we're going to go for headquarters because that's the nearest thing in range. We're going to open fire, open salvo. But this isn't the first-person shooter guide. This is the commander guide. So we're going to carry on playing as the commander and let the tactics unfold with these AI units, who are actually doing a real good job of destroying everything. So they're going to wipe this base out relatively quickly. The rail tanks are leaving the AO, and they're making their way in. But this is the kind of build that you want here as a commander. And I've pretty much gone over all the controls with you guys. I will go with the controller, the controls with the mouse as well. So the mouse is for selecting stuff. The scroll wheel is to zoom in and out. Ping is middle mouse button. So if you want to ping a unit to a friendly, if you're pinging an enemy structure, middle mouse button will allow you to ping. Right click cancels things. Left click selects things. That's about it for the mouse controls. For the controls with the keyboard, there's nothing much that I really haven't gone over. There's no special hotkeys I haven't gone over already. F, take control of a unit to unselect a unit. C, takes you to the HQ, brings up the HQ as well. Goes between HQs. Control groups, hold control and press the designated number when you have units selected or building selected. Double tapping those as well brings you to those said units. Spacebar is your events bar. So, for example, as soon as I get another voice quip soon, yeah, you'll see it. It looks like we've already decimated the enemy. By the way, that's a nice looking place to put a vehicle factory. By the way, you come out and you crash into a cliff. You'd love to see it. Anyway, we're gonna finish off the AI here, and we'll call the video here for the human v human commander guide. If there's anything I've missed or if anything you think I could add, please put it down in the chat below. I will update this guide when air units come out, and I've had a play with the air units, and we've kind of like found the meta for it, and then see what the build guides is. Like I said, guys, underneath will be the build order that I chose today. I'll also include the build order for human v aliens, and I'll also include Lucker's video as well on that. Please show him some love. He's probably one of the best commanders that I've seen in the game for humans. There is another commander that's really good at aliens, and I will include him in the next video. But yeah, I mean, that is pretty much it. And that is another voice quip that I haven't heard until just now. So mission complete, sector under control. We have completed the game. It actually had subtitles as well at the very bottom. Very nice addition indeed. Anyway, guys, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and drop that bell notification button as well. I very much appreciate it. Join me if you have any questions. Drop into the stream. You know, drop a comment down below. Join me in the streams. I stream Silica at least one time a week. I will stream it more when air units come out as well, and I do stream it as well occasionally during the week. And if you want to see other games like Alien, Dark Descent, or any other strategy games or first-person shooters, join me on the Tuesdays, and maybe more, even Saturdays as well. So, guys, without further ado, I will see you in the next video with aliens versus humans. And also I will do aliens, human v aliens, but that'll probably be the last one, and that might be included with air units. So guys, without further ado, I will see you in the next one. Peace.